I fixed my seat.
Fixed it.
Now I can lean back.
And you broke it for me. So now I have to fix it tomorrow when I use it for work.
I'll fix it when we're done.
I'm sure you're going to remember. In 74 minutes from now. You think that's how long it's going to take us to talk about this?
Possibly.
Yeah, you don't even have... All right. That's barely a cold opening. We're just going to get into it. Because it's a weird subject. You're Phoenix. I'm Will. And we're here to bring on the questions.
Yep. You can find us at linktree.com/BOTQS with Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Spreaker.
Is it Apple Podcasts? Okay, it is Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. Also on YouTube.
Also on Apple Music? Or is it just podcast?
I think I don't know if they're like really two separate things, but they're kind of two separate things.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll find music on Apple Podcasts. And I don't know if you'll find podcasts on Apple Music. Maybe. Or it's just one thing.
But you can watch us on Instagram.
Yeah, I do put reels on Instagram.
There's also TikTok and YouTube. You can watch the full thing on YouTube.
And then clips.
On TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts.
Right. Yep. You just subscribe on YouTube and you'll get the YouTube Shorts too.
Well,
we should do posts on there. Like a blog situation. The YouTube has that. We should do that. Right? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. So, Miss Phoenix, what question are we bringing in this episode?
What is a homunculus, or what are homunculi? Singular, plural.
I don't remember. I heard it someplace. I heard it in some podcast I listened to, or maybe it was in an audiobook. I don't know. Something sparked this some time ago, a few weeks ago, and I don't remember what it was. And I wanted to find out just what it was. It's not a cryptid creature. It was a bizarre thing that humans decided to try to do, and boy, howdy does it get weird.
I think humans are weird enough already.
They tried to do this because they thought they didn't know what they thought.
They didn't think.
And they were wrong.
They didn't thought.
They didn't thought. All right, here we go. The concept of the homunculus. Homunculus meaning little person, and not a dwarf or the M word. I think it's uncouth to say the M word nowadays. I think it's dwarf or little person, something like that. But actually, it has nothing to do with that.
Just like fairy-like little person?
The homunculi?
Yeah.
No. But they wanted it to be? What? I know. The concept of the homunculus represents one of the humanity's most persistent intellectual pursuits. The creation of life through artifice. Artifice means trickery, guile, or craftiness. Bypassing the natural processes of sexual generation. Historically, the term refers to a small, artificial, fully formed human or humanoid being. The lineage of the homunculus is not linear, but rather it is a complex intellectual construct whose meaning shifts radically across disciplines, serving at various times as a mystical creation, a failed scientific hypothesis, a foundational philosophical critique, and, currently, a target for modern technological realization. The notes will bring us through all that stuff, right up into the possible, like, the idea of AI being a version of homunculi.
Homunculi are kind of ugly. They've got giant lips, a giant tongue, giant hands.
Well, I think that's just almost just an artistic representation, but it was never meant to be that.
Hypothetical homunculi.
Yeah. Hypothetical.
I don't like this hypothetical. It's creepy. It's weird.
It is weird. Through and through.
Also, that statue has no clothes on, and I don't like that.
Well, Homunculus wouldn't have clothes on.
Could at least, like, put a napkin over it.
A napkin.
Yeah, you can, like, cut up a napkin just like a little towel.
I don't think they're that big.
Napkins you can cut up.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. You cut it up to make at least a wraparound.
We're talking Polly Pocket sized people. Or maybe slightly bigger than that. Taller than Polly Pocket, not as tall as Barbie.
So, like, Chelsea size.
Okay. Generation I didn't know.
That's Barbie's daughter or sister. Youngest sister.
Well, I don't think a homunculus is even like an adolescent version of Barbie. They're shorter than that. Your entire ratio of body is smaller than that. Fairy size. Smaller than Barbie. I think.
Like, as tall as Barbie's, like, up to Barbie's knee?
Maybe? A little taller than that? I don't know.
Like, her mid-thigh.
Let's keep reading.
We'll say mid-thigh.
Maybe?
In that range. Knee to mid-thigh. We're going to say that range of height. The homunculus concept possesses roots in ancient folklore and early alchemic traditions, but its prominence was solidified during the 16th century proliferation of alchemical texts. Crucially, the concept applies across three distinct intellectual
Epochs.
Each imposing a new meaning and function upon the little person.
Go ahead, read through all those.
1. The 16th century alchemy, attributed notably to Paracelsus.
Yeah, this person, Paracelsus.
Yeah. Where the homunculus was an object of occult ritual and spiritual ambition. Okay. Number 2, 17th to 18th century embryology. Study of the embryo.
Yes.
Central to the theory of preformationism. Preformationism, specifically the spermism model. What is?
Oh, that's the thing. I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna get weird.
Which sought a rational explanation for conception. 3rd, 20th century neuroscience. So that's the 1900s.
Yes.
While not a biological being, the term lends its name to the cortical homunculus, a metaphorical representation of the body map in the cerebral cortex. Cerebral.
So maybe you have a little person in you controlling your body.
I feel like that would show up on brain scans.
Would it though? It's a small person piloting a big person, scanning another person who's being piloted by another small person.
I think people have cut open the brain to see half of it.
And there's nobody in there?
No. What kind of cartoon are we in? Like, it's a robot person.
It's like the dude from Home. The one at the evil one.
Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgon? No.
No, that's a Medusa.
Gorg.
Gorg. Just half the Gorgon. Gorg. Maybe something like that. What was that? There was a movie with Eddie Murphy where it was a bunch of smaller people inside of his head piloting his whole body was the spaceship. It was a it was a likeness of him, human size, but there was a bunch of people inside the head piloting him.
I don't know what kind of movies you were watching as a kid.
It wasn't as a kid. It was only half a dozen years ago. This movie came out. It was a very good movie.
So
All
I
right.
was 6?
What?
6, 7 years old. You said half a dozen.
I think it came out in your lifetime.
So like 6, 7 years ago.
Hashtag 6'7". Here we go.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep making that joke.
Oh, I know.
Every episode. That's gonna show up. I'm gonna make it happen.
And any range I need, I'm going to say 5 to 8.
6 to 7.
All right. Today, the most tangible analog exists in the fields of synthetic biology, SB, and organoid intelligence, OI, where scientists generate complex biological systems in vitro that recapitulate aspects of human development. The historical trajectory of the homunculus reveals a persistent underlying desire to achieve mastery over the reproductive process. This drive is rooted in the ambition to transcend sexual generation and create a self-governing life through pure artifice, pure trickery, pure craftiness. In its occult iterations, this quest was an attempt to attain the experience of the creative moment of God. In its rationalist form, the quest aimed to reduce complex biological creation to a mechanistic process. The desire unites diverse religious cultures and classical philosophy in a shared, often ambivalent wish to abolish the primacy of difference. Specifically, the difference between the male and female necessity in reproduction. The historical investigation must link the initial alchemical quest for divine wisdom and spiritual perfection directly to the modern scientific quest for fundamental understanding of human development and cognitive function. Do you get all that?
Hello. Is it like cross? Like some sort of breeding to clone between humans, like failed attempts about like
It's not even cloning. It's creating life without conception with a traditional male and female situation. Conceiving life without male and female reproduction process. What? I know, right? Your face says it all. Can't hear that in audio form, though.
I don't like this.
Brother, it's gonna get even weirder, I'm telling you.
And we're only on page 2.
Yes.
2 of 8.
We gotta get going. It's not gonna take us 3 hours, but we gotta keep it going. Let's tell me about the philosophical origin.
The philosophical origin of the homunculus is inextricably linked to early attempts at anthropogenesis. Anthropogenesis.
Genesis? Anthropogenesis?
I was like, book of the Bible, Genesis.
That's how you figure out words.
Yeah. Context clues.
Yes.
Anthropogenesis, or the artificial creation of man through ritual and proto-chemical means. So we're making DNA? Like, are we making the chemical bonds?
They want to. That was the idea. The alchemy was not just, can we turn lead into gold? Alchemy was also, can we make man? Can we make life from chemistry?
I mean, that's what we're made of, different chemicals, but like,
There's a process.
it's not that simple.
But when does consciousness turn on? When do you spark into I am me?
Like,
when does the ego come in? It's
like
deep.
6 or 7. Age 6 or 7?
No.
I gained like little bits of consciousness when I was like 4 years old. I remember specific things from preschool. I remember my room from preschool from like above the doorway. I can project, I don't know why, but I can remember certain things from third person point of view.
Sounds like you're neurodivergent.
In a good way.
Is there a bad way?
No, just in the pot. I don't know how to put this. Yeah, we're just gonna say neurodivergent. There's no good or bad way.
Okay, very good. You've lost all your notes now.
Why?
You can start using the iPad again, I think, for your notes.
I need a new charger. My charger's broken to charge the iPad.
Oh. Okay, I see. All right. Protochemical means, keep going.
The conceptual groundwork for the homunculus predates the 16th century, finding significant expression in Jewish mystical traditions concerning the golem.
Like Minecraft.
Big iron guy with a couple of, like, not veins, vines.
Right. How do you create the golem in Minecraft?
It's kind of like the wither, but not.
Kind of like the weather?
Wither.
Oh, like, what does a little bit of precipitation have to do with making a golem?
The body structure is like the wither, just 2 iron blocks stacked on top of each other, and then 2 iron blocks on the sides of the middle top, the top one, and then a pumpkin head.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's the golem.
That's the golem.
And that particular golem has it doesn't think like a villager. It has a process.
It's like
it does a certain, we can't think of the word. It only does a certain process.
It's only programmed to protect the villagers in case there's like pillagers, not villagers. But in case there's like pillagers coming, or one of the villagers or the golem itself is attacked by the player.
And then it springs into action.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just hangs out, just roams around the village.
Kinda.
I don't know if that's what they were thinking when they were the idea of the homunculi. Let's not have slaves. Let's just create beings that will work for us without going through the idea of conception and motherhood and all that stuff.
A subconscious human being to be a worker?
You have ethical concerns?
You said not slave, so I'm saying worker.
Right, but you're questioning. That was a question, the way you said it. You have ethical concerns for this particular method of getting large amounts of labor.
I'm questioning if that was the right word. Like worker instead of a slave.
Sure. So I'm thinking maybe what they were thinking was to create a workforce, and that's what they did. They didn't want to go home and spend time with their family. They didn't want to make a being that didn't have wants. You are
Subconsciousness.
programmed to go do this thing, and you go do this thing, and then when that body gets exhausted, rest for a period of time,
Like
consume sustenance, go back to your duties.
you're like you're just awake enough to do your bodily functions and have some needs for your bodily functions, but you aren't conscious enough to have any thoughts, wants, feelings.
Right. Maybe they weren't even thinking that far. It was just the idea of creating life through chemistry. And if they succeeded in that, then it opens up. Keep going. You got some more of the golem there. We got to get through this. There's 8 pages of this.
The golem, an anthropoid created by a Jewish master, serves as a strong analog for the artificial man. The creation of such a being allowed by I keep want to add words. The creation of such a being allowed the master to display creative forces and symbolically attain the experience of God's creative moment. This practice was understood. I keep wanting to add. This practice was understood as an attempt of man to know God by the art he uses in order to create man. That was on quotes. This practice was understood as was not in quotes. Unquote. These earlier traditions established the primary intellectual purpose of artificial creation, not utility, but spiritual and theological insight.
The term homunculus first appears by name in the alchemical writings attributed to the Swiss-German physician and philosopher Paracelsus, 1493 to 1541. In his work De Natura Rerum, 1537, Paracelsus provided a detailed, if esoteric, outline for the creation of the chemical homunculus. And perhaps this is where it gets a little crazy. Maybe? Not yet. Soon.
The recipe outlines a specific ritualized process.
Yes.
The semen of a man must be left to putrefy by itself in a sealed container known as
cucurbite
for 40 days.
Yep. Take a minute to process that.
What does putrefy mean?
Get moldy. Putrefy.
That's so nice.
In a sealed container.
That's so nice.
We're not to the weird part yet.
It's been weird. This putrefaction must occur under specific heat conditions. Oh, so warm semen. Warm, moldy semen.
We're not at the weird part yet.
Oh, yeah, it's not weird at all. It's not weird at all.
Heat conditions, specific heat conditions.
Traditionally provided by the Venter equinus, warm fermenting horse dung.
Ta-da!
Oh!
What? Yep. Semen in a sealed container, kept at warm temperature, and horse poop.
Warm fermenting horse poop.
Paracelsus is a crazy dude.
I don't really like this recipe. This doesn't sound like a tasty recipe to me.
We're not tasting it. Nope. Nope.
It's got horse poop, warm, moldy semen. It doesn't sound good.
It It's a recipe. For homunculus,
I don't like this recipe.
it doesn't work. Keep going.
Paracelsus claimed that after this period, the substance would begin to live, move, and be agitated. So, just angry all the time? Just a little bit angry all the time?
Maybe.
That
You'd be mad too if you were kept in a glass jar and formed with poop.
Well, I don't know if they're telling them that they were fermented with horse poop and warm, moldy semen.
Well, there's no consciousness yet, so they don't understand anything, but they're just
a little bit angry all the time for no reason.
Well, I'm pretty sure it didn't work, so keep going.
Yeah, it didn't work. Appearing somewhat like a transparent man. So now we're a little clear.
And agitated?
Or angry, clear, small men that were made out of moldy, warm, fermented by horse dung semen.
Oh, kept warm by horse dung. It's in a sealed container. Don't get weirder.
Oh, that's just awesome.
Telling you, man. It's okay. Then we got to get through this. And then with the modern times, it's not so bad.
Oh, thank God, because the 1900s, oof, we're not looking too great here.
Paracelsus be crazy.
To complete the process, the being must then be nourished and fed cautiously and prudently with an arcanum of human blood. So now they're vampires.
Yeah.
So are we creating small men or vampires? Or
man, wouldn't that suck? If some size vampires just so everywhere.
Just one little man just
these
on your
angry, transparent, thumb-sized vampires. Thumpires.
It bites your pinky finger. It's biting everyone. Just
bro, what are you doing? Now you got a vampire pinky.
Blah blah blah. And then you've got I don't say blah 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 thumb.
Right? No idle hands are the devil's work. But if you let tiny thumpires bite your hand, tiny not invisible, transparent thumpires,
almost clear.
Then you have a bunch of vampire fingers.
Blah blah blah. I don't say blah blah blah. They just talk to each other all day, and you have to shut them up with a pomegranate seed.
A bunch of just angry finger puppets.
You can't control your fingers anymore. And then you make all little cloaks for them.
Because they want that?
They won't shut up.
You have to make the cloak because your fingers are disappearing and turning transparent. You got to be able to see them. Imagine all your 5 fingers just have a bunch of capes.
They turn into little bats. That'd be weird.
Oh, when they get scared, they turn into little bats. They try to fly away.
I can't see my fingers in the mirror.
Uh-huh. Yep, there you go. Getting all the vampire tropes.
I can only see them pomegranate seeds and them capes. Human blood for up to 40 weeks, maintained in the steady heat of the horse's womb.
I don't know when they get into the horse's womb from the dung.
So now my hand is in this, what? Why are you putting human blood in a horse womb? to feed the tiny transparent man.
40 weeks is the traditional length for a human birth.
But why a horse womb? Were we in dung?
Right. What happened?
When did this all occur? Resulting in a living human child, albeit much smaller than one born naturally.
It's a mess. This is a terrible recipe.
It's probably this big.
It's bad. It's bad. It's not a good people recipe.
No, this shouldn't be a recipe at all. This shan't be a thought.
An alternative, equally ritualistic recipe cited the use of a pregnant animal, such as a horse, as a surrogate, whose womb would contain the putrefying semen for 40 days. The resulting unformed substance would then require placement in a special powder and feeding with the blood of its decapitated mother for 7 days before becoming fully formed.
What?
Now the recipe got even crazier.
When do we decapitate the mother?
After 40 weeks, of course.
Oh, yeah.
40 days, sorry.
Bro.
40 days.
This is... No, we should not have this recipe. All I can imagine is just one of the statues. Like, if you look up a homunculus on Google and you click on images, the little statue guys, all I can think of, 2 giant hands just grabbing either end of your pinky, and then giant lips with tiny little teeth just... And then your dream, like, you'll lose a little bit of color in the reddest part of your pinky.
It looks like you smashed your finger. Like the blood blister.
That's... This is turning so weird.
I told you.
The purpose of the homunculus in the alchemical tradition was primarily spiritual and epistemological.
Pretty good. Epistemological?
Yeah.
Yep.
Distinct from later
utilitarian
motives. Paracelsus. Celsius. Wrong.
Paracelsus.
I think we're in America.
We have cans of Celsius. Paracelsus. 2 of them.
Wrong. Just, yeah, wrong.
Wrong. Paracelsus.
Paracelsus claimed the procedure for making the homunculus was one of the greatest secrets revealed by God to mortals. Greatness?
When did God say, "Yo, listen, get some semen, put it in a vial, not a sealed container,
and some horse dung.
Put it in some horse poop.
Let it set for 40 days.
Put it in the animal.
Put it in the
in their womb, and then cut off their head and feed it the blood.
Yeah, and when they're done with the 40 weeks, just
that's good.
Feed them human blood.
Yeah, that's good.
Keep them warm.
When did God say this? I don't think it's in any of the books. King James, pretty sure it's not in that one.
I don't think God thought of this.
The Old or the New Testament. Doubt it's in either one of those.
I don't think it's. Is it really the greatest secret? Or was it a secret at all? I think this is one of the worst secrets ever.
God spoke directly to Paracelsus. Come on. Good. Finish the rest of that sentence. Secrets revealed by God to mortals.
I mean, Paracelsus wasn't in the books. I don't think he's in it.
Nope, don't think so. I don't think there's a book of Paracelsus.
So, did he really speak to Paracelsus? We're just gonna restart the sentence. Paracelsus claimed the procedure for making the homunculus was one of the greatest secrets revealed by God to mortals, suggesting that the creation of artificial life was a form of divine wisdom accessible to human beings.
Right. And chemically, outside of the body. That's what he claimed. The attempt symbolized spiritual regeneration and Christian soteriology, or salvation. The alchemists sought to produce a being that bypassed corruptible biological processes, aiming for an incorruptible existence similar to the philosophic stone or the resurrection of Christ, which was an analogy often used to describe the completion of the Hermetic work. The greatest yield of these alchemical pursuits was not the creature itself, which was often elusive, but the recognition of the sheer potential that chemistry offered in exploring the world.
I don't think putting semen and horse dung in a steel container is comparable to Jesus coming back from the dead 3 days later.
It's a mess. Making a homunculus is messy work.
Yeah, I can tell.
Takes
Yeah,
a while. Takes a while. Like 9-10 months.
like 6-7 months.
9-10. 40 weeks is 10 months.
Yeah. No, thank you. I will not be participating in making homunculi. While Paracelsus instructed that the creature ought to be educated with the greatest care and zeal until it displayed intelligence, later accounts focus on utilitarian and magical feats. For instance, Count Johann Ferdinand von
Gufstein?
Gufstein and
Abby Geloni?
Abby Geloni. So is Johann a vampire now?
Count Johann.
That's what I'm naming my vampire Pinky.
Count Johann Ferdinand von Kufstein. And Abby Geloni? Geloni?
Giolani?
Gelani.
Gelani. Gelato. That stuff's pretty good. And Abby Gelani were reputed in 1775 to have created 10 homunculi kept in glass containers, specifically for their ability to foresee the future.
1775. 1 year before the United States of America came into existence. They were like, hey man, we made 10 homunculi.
They can see the future.
Guess how we did it? Took us 40 weeks.
Took us a couple months.
Following the alchemical period, the concept of the miniature man was rationalized and absorbed into the emerging field of embryology during the scientific enlightenment. This transformation marked the secularization of creation, shifting the primary investigative question from how do we achieve divine power to how does the machine of life start?
Machine of life? When do we get to machines? I thought we were talking about little vampire men.
Well, you're up and about, walking around. Why?
What?
Why do you exist? How are you?
Don't ask me the purpose of life. I don't know that.
How are you? What makes you?
My personality?
Where'd that come from?
My thoughts?
Where did they start?
My brain? My frontal cortex?
Who put it there?
When you guys created me. That created my brain eventually.
That's the machine of life.
But
what was the spark? When does the spark happen?
Probably when you become a little more conscious.
Is it? That's what these people had all the time in the world to figure out, apparently. All right, we still have 17 pages to go.
Page are we even on?
Half. Not even half.
We're on the third one.
All right, keep going.
Might have to make this 2 parts.
I don't think so.
The 17th century saw the translation and dissemination of Paracelsus's German texts, particularly in Northern Europe, alongside the rise of literalism and
Baconian empiricism.
I love bacon, but I don't know what Baconian empiricism is.
Well, I think it's an empire of bacon.
Do they have a lot of pigs?
They didn't like this whole homunculus idea. They'd rather eat pig. I don't know. I have no idea what the Baconian empiricism is. Keep going.
This era sought to explain natural phenomena through mechanistic principles, moving away from occult explanations and the earlier theories of generation. Previously, which posited that maternal...
Previously naturalists.
Previously naturalists explained the development of higher animals using Aristotle's concept of epigenesis, which posited that maternal and parental fluids combined and solidified into a fetus during gestation.
Maternal and paternal.
Yes. Embryo and semen. They come together.
Right. You can't make it from putrefying semen
and
in a bucket.
And horse poop. Right. You just put a bunch of horse poop in a bucket, some semen in a bucket, saran wrap on top.
And wait for 40 days.
Yup. That's how you make homunculus.
And then you give it some blood.
Yeah. Yeah. You chop off the horse's head after you put it in the womb.
Oh, right. We can't forget that ritual. That's important.
Yeah. You gotta put it in the womb after the 40 days, though. Because it
didn't have microwaves.
What?
You gotta keep it warm. They didn't have a microwave.
I think they did. Just like...
Not in...
You could use an oven.
Yes, you could use an oven, but not a radioactive device. Read the last sentence.
They saw more comprehensive mechanistic theory applicable across all kingdoms of life.
Pre-formationism, dominant from the late 17th century through the late 18th centuries, provided this framework. It was the first theory of generation that applied universally, asserting that the development of offspring occurred merely as the unfolding and growth of parts that were already pre-formed. The theory quickly diverged into 2 competing models. Ovism, which located the pre-formed individual in the maternal egg. The whole person was in there. And spermism, which held that the pre-formed individual or homunculus resided within the head of the male sperm.
So either in just female or in just male.
Well, that was the idea. Now the entire person was in there, just waiting. What?
So I don't think that's how it works.
Nope.
So I think there's a whole process of using how DNA works, and how there's a process of egg and sperm.
Yeah. We'll figure that out later on. They were still trying to figure it out in the 17th century. 17th to 18th century.
Why are we trying to create little humans in that process?
They didn't know how it worked. They were trying to figure out how it worked.
They were trying to create little humans in that work.
They didn't know that you needed both parts, the sperm and the egg, to make it happen.
Have they not made a child before?
There was a bunch of people.
Have they not contributed to the human population?
And there was quite a bit of people in that time, and the Black Plague happened in that time, I think, too, maybe.
1500s.
So it was sometime after the Black Plague.
This is weird.
Yep, keep going.
They discovered cells so long ago. Like, they discovered cells.
Yeah. But
This is
they didn't know
weird.
they didn't know about the spark of life. The most celebrated.
I was yawning. The most celebrated proponent of the spermist model was Nicholas Hartsoker. So now we're soaking hearts. Soaking them in vampire blood?
And a little bit of horse dung. Yes. Ventier Equinus. Right? I think that's what it was.
1656 to 1725, a Dutch mathematician and physicist, inspired by the discovery of animalcules sperm by Antoine Leeuwenhoek. It's definitely German.
Mm-hmm.
Hartsoker postulated that the sperm was, in fact, a little man, petit l'enfant, or petit le homme. That's French, right?
Whatever it is.
Identical in everything but size to an adult. According to the spermists, I don't like these scientist names. The homunculus was simply deposited in the woman's body to grow, effectively reducing the woman's role to that of an incubator.
Rude.
So now we're objectifying women again.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I can tell.
These guys are just like, oh, well, yeah, of course. There's a whole person in the sperm. The woman just warms it up.
Yeah. Like, the woman is my microwave for my Hot Pocket.
You pop it in there, check on it in 40 weeks, and voila, there's a whole person in there.
Ah, yes, my son now is done. Thank you, woman.
Ding. You gotta wait for the little, like on the turkey, when you know the turkey's done, the little red thing pops up. Belly pop. The woman's belly button pops out. That's when you know the homunculus is nice and cooked.
She just gains an outie belly button, just
Boop. Yep. This transition illustrates a critical conceptual shift. The homunculus moved from an artifact created through ritual, alchemy, to a natural entity observed, or more accurately, hallucinated through early microscopes as an explanation for a natural process, generation.
We're already almost reaching an hour. It's already 6:30.
All right, keep going. Hurry.
The spermous homunculus, despite its appeal as a rational explanation, suffered a dual rejection, one empirical and one philosophical. Empirically, the widespread adoption of higher magnification microscopes by the early 1800s allowed scientists to observe the very earliest stages of embryos as small collections of cells, providing evidence for epigenesis, development from undifferentiated material, and rejecting the idea of performed parts.
Philosophically, the spermist model contained a self-defeating logical flaw that ultimately destroyed the concept. Get a load of this. If the sperm contained a homunculus, and the homunculus was identical to an adult in all respects except size, it must logically possess its own sperm. This smaller sperm would then contain an even tinier homunculus, leading to an infinite regress of containing figures akin to a Matryoshka doll. Russian doll. This hypothesis of an endless chain of miniature humans was first articulated by the philosopher Nicholas Malebranche.
He has male in the name.
Malebranche. Well, this is the guy that was like, bro, so you're telling me that there's tiny people in the sperm, and the tiny people in the sperm have tiny sperm with tiny people in them too? And those even smaller tiny people inside of those tiny sperm have their own tiny sperm with tiny people in them? No. No. Nope, that's not how people work. Keep going.
This is weird. The failure of the spermist model was crucial, not only for the advancement of developmental biology, but because of the logical flaw of the recursive containing figure would later become codified into one of the most powerful tools in analytical philosophy.
The most enduring legacy of the homunculus is not biological, but philosophical. The conceptual flaw that invalidated the spermist theory, the infinite regress, was formalized into a crucial analytical tool known as the homunculus argument or homunculus fallacy. This intellectual outcome constitutes the greatest lesson learned from the historical pursuit of the miniature man. The homunculus argument is an informal fallacy that arises when a concept is recursively explained in terms of the concept itself, without first providing a fundamental definition or explanation for the original phenomenon. The resulting situation is an infinite regress, where the explanation simply postpones the core problem indefinitely. The argument is profoundly useful for testing the completeness and logical soundness of theories of mind.
This philosophical critique is most famously applied within the theory of vision, often termed the theory of the Cartesian theater. The flawed cognitive model posits that human vision works as
follows.
Light forms an image on the retinas, and then an internal agent, something or someone in the brain, looks at these images as if they were displayed on an internal movie screen. The implicit assumption is that this internal viewer is a homunculus, a little man inside the brain who observes the sensory data.
It seems so bizarre to us.
I think of like inside, like right here, and it's just hollow, and you can see like it's smooth, but it's also squiggly, and it's just a little man at a big, like in Inside Out,
Inside
the big,
Out, yes, exactly.
the control
room.
panel,
Mhm.
and there's just a big screen, and it's just like the image of your couch, because you're just looking at your couch.
Yeah, and they have to interpret that. What are we looking at? Couch. The fallacious reasoning then appears when one attempts to explain how this first homunculus sees the movie. The proposed explanation inevitably requires positing a second, smaller homunculus inside the first one's head, looking at its internal screen. This necessitates a third, and so on, creating an endless, non-explanatory chain. Non-explanatory? Explanatory. Explanatory. Oh, I messed that word up. Neuroscience, recognizing this logical constraint, formally rejected the concept, stating explicitly that the idea of a higher center running the brain, perhaps inhabited by a little green man, was not a necessary hypothesis.
The homunculus argument is also vital in cognitive science, particularly when assessing theories that propose the brain uses rules or algorithms similar to a computer program to carry out operations. For example, if cognition is understood as the manipulation of rules and representations as suggested by early cognitive theories, the core question becomes who or what reads, understands, and applies these supposedly inert rules stored within the brain. The only recourse for such a theory is to implicitly suggest an internal agent, a homunculus, who interprets the internal regulations and issues motor orders to the body. This explanation immediately collapses into infinite regress, as the homunculus's own cognitive process would also need to be rule-bound, necessitating yet another internal agent to read its rules. This critique is fundamental to scrutinizing computational theories of mind and certain varieties of artificial intelligence that rely on the manipulation of algorithms to explain thought.
So, you have a thinker inside your mind, but then who thinks for the thinker?
They have a thinker in their mind, and then they have a thinker in their mind.
The
and
internal
then they have
regress.
a thinker in their mind, and then they have a thinker in their mind.
An endless amount of tiny thinkers in your mind.
So many thinkers in your mind.
So, do the emotions inside of the people inside out have emotions of theirs? You have anger inside of, what's her name? It's Riley, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you have all the emotions in there. Joy, sadness, anger, disgust.
Yeah.
And?
Fear.
There you go. Do they each have their own set of emotions in their heads?
Do they even have heads?
Do they have brains? When does it stop? Stops right there? How do they come to be?
When Riley was born, her emotions formed.
Just like that.
Have you not seen the movie? Right in the beginning.
So we have the series of 6 homunculus in our brains until there's more.
You develop more.
Like Inside Out too.
Riley became adolescent and she developed other emotions.
Anxiety and I don't know what the other one was.
Envy, anxiety, embarrassment, ennui, which that's just like lazy. Like you lounge around.
Okay.
I swear.
Anyway. The shift from the physical concept to the philosophical tool demonstrates that the historical failure of the biological homunculus model yielded a powerful epistemological safeguard. The homunculus argument is considered extremely useful for detecting where theories of mind fail or are incomplete. It serves as a necessary conceptual roadblock, demanding the theories of perception and cognition must ultimately ground their explanations in fundamental, non-recursive mechanisms rather than simply positing an unexplained agent. The persistent challenge of the homunculus argument ensures that scientific investigation remains focused on explanatory depth rather than superficial, hierarchical descriptions. In the 21st century?
In the 21st century, the ambition to create human-like structures ex vivo has been functionally realized, shifting the concept from mystical aspiration and failed hypothesis to technological construct. These modern experiments, primary and synthetic biology, SB, and organoid intelligence, OI, represent the neo-homunculus. Synthetic biology defines itself by engineering biological systems with modular, compatible components, aiming to replace existing gene technology by creating entirely new biological phenomena.
This endeavor includes the genomic cell engineering pathway, which involves theoretically designing and constructing minimal genomes for insertion into genome-less cells. Some goals even involve constructing entities using non-natural organic structures, such as novel nucleotides or amino acids. This technological paradigm contrasts sharply with the mysticism of alchemy, relying relying instead on sophisticated engineering principles and fundamental developmental understanding to achieve the de novo creation of biological function.
Well, I know what nucleotides and amino acids are.
But they're trying. Yeah, you're learning about that now. I think they're trying to use that knowledge to create synthetic biology.
Most direct.
Mm-hmm.
The most direct physical analog to the artificial human sought by Paracelsus is the modern organoid. Organoids are three-dimensional structures derived from one or multiple types of progenitor cells that possess the remarkable capacity to self-organize into structures that accurately recapitulate the in vivo properties of a specific human tissue or organ. In vivo means a process that takes place in a living organism.
So they were trying to put the sperm in a container in the horse tongue or in the womb of a horse that was in vivo. Continue the process in a living organism. These systems represent a profound advancement in the quest for artificial human life. They are generated by manipulating intrinsic genetic programs of progenitor cells and their complex extrinsic environments, often relying on soluble morphogens or engineered biomaterials. Organoids are now a standard platform for exploring developmental principles, modeling complex diseases, and designing tissues for regenerative medicine. Their success is such that the FDA has recently begun changing its policies to allow greater reliance on organoids for new drug applications, lessening the requirement for traditional animal studies. So if they can grow a liver and test medicine on a liver rather than testing it on pig livers or in rats, then ethically that's better, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a fully formed being. There's not a fully formed consciousness in a liver. But if they start doing that in a brain, if they grow a brain, oh, here we go. Read the next part.
A subset of this research. A subset of this research focused on human brain organoids, HBOs. HBO Max.
Yeah, like that. Home box office, yeah. That's the one.
Is driving the emerging field of organoid intelligence, OI. OI involves interfacing these sophisticated neural structures with computer systems to study and train cognitive-like functions, moving beyond passive modeling.
But at one point, would a HBO humanoid, what was it? Human brain organoid gain consciousness? And how would we know? Researchers are generating HBOs with increasingly complex features, including sophisticated cytoarchitecture, cell type diversity, and neural identity that closely resemble living human brains. The ambition is to achieve supervised learning simulations by exposing the organoids to highly specific spatiotemporal patterns of electrical and chemical stimulation, often employing a feedback loop. Changes in functionality, particularly synaptic connections and electrophysiology, are analyzed to demonstrate how learning and memory formation may occur in these systems. The scale of data generated by these organoid MEA microelectrode array interfaces necessitates the use of massive AI analysis and supercomputing capacity to decode the inputs and relate them to observed outputs. For instance, measuring improvement in the organoid's ability to respond to stimuli based on a virtual environment, such as the game Pong.
These applications are highly utilitarian, OI models are used for high throughput testing of novel drug candidates and gene therapies. Patient-derived organoids offer unprecedented capability for personalized medicine, allowing researchers to study disease progression and tailor treatment approaches based on an individual's specific genetic background. The success of the Homunculus illustrates a fundamental shift in purpose, from occult mastery to practical predictive mastery over disease.
The success of generating self-organizing human neural systems ex vivo has immediately triggered profound bioethical scrutiny, echoing the moral anxiety surrounding the creation of life outside natural boundaries. The modern ethical challenge is driven by the potential for the Homunculus to acquire properties that demand moral protection.
As HBOs acquire complex neuroanatomy and demonstrate learning capabilities, acute ethical questions arise regarding the possible emergence of morally relevant capacities, such as whether these novel
Such as
sentience or consciousness. This concern centers on determining physiological, psychological, moral patiency. Whether these novel entities acquire a cognitive equivalence to entities traditionally granted moral status, such as humans or great apes. While some analysis suggests that in the absence of embodiment and standard developmental context, claims about the emergence of consciousness may be overstated. The technological trajectory mandates a precautionary approach.
But again, if you're putting all the parts there, when does the consciousness spark, and how are they going to know when the consciousness or personality sparks in there? It's very morally, ethically gray area, fine line. There was a movie a while back called The Island, and in that movie, most of the movie took place inside of this very controlled environment. It almost looked militaristic, and everybody was very controlled. They would wake up and they would go to the bathroom, and it would be analyzed, and it would say, you're taking in too much salt, and now your salt content will be reduced when you go to your breakfast or when you go to get your meals. And everybody was very controlled for exercising. And at some point, so they convince all these people to get out of the place, they need to win this lottery. So when somebody wins a lottery, they take them out of the facility, and then they're gone. They go out into the open world. So they were told. But what actually happens is those people are then the people that win the lottery are not dissected. I guess their parts are harvested for their true people in the real world. Turns out the entire facility was clones, so that people can clone their organs to then harvest the organs from their clones. But they're fully formed people. They're not just livers in a petri dish. Fully formed people. And when the lottery happens, when they win the quote unquote lottery, then they go into a place and then they're anesthetized and their organs are harvested for their counterpart in the real world to get their new liver or whatever. It's called The Island. Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson, Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler's a bad guy. Having fun yet? Beyond intrinsic status, technological advancements raise a broader portfolio of extrinsic ethical issues, including the consent processes for cell donors, the governance of biobanking, concerns about commercialization and commodification, and the serious risk of knowledge misuse, such as in biological terrorism or warfare.
The initial intuitive approach to assessing the moral status of HBOs is the similarly based approach, often associated with a precautionary principle. This approach dictates that if an organoid possesses neural structures that resemble those associated with consciousness and sentience in human brains, then proportionate regulatory measures should be applied.
Only if. However, critics challenge this approach on scientific and philosophical grounds. The key limitation lies in the fact that HBOs, due to their generation method, inevitably possess an organizational and structural divergence from in vivo neuroanatomy, relying on indicators derived from adult neurotypical self-reporting humans, such as the perturbation. I think I'm probably mispronouncing that. Perturbation Complexity Index (PCI). Risks applying non-comparable standards. This conceptual mismatch could lead to critical errors. A false positive, falsely assigning consciousness based on structural resemblance, or a false negative, failing to detect consciousness implemented through non-homologous neural structures. So they won't know. They won't know if these organs that they're artificially creating will gain consciousness. They don't know how to read it. This critique is essential as it prevents the repetition of the historical fallacy of relying on surface-level visual or structural similarity, as Hartzoker did with the spermus homunculus, rather than genuine, functional, developmental reality.
To overcome the pitfalls of the similarly based approach, a new framework, the architectural approach, has been proposed. This model moves the assessment away from mere resemblance and towards functional evidence. It suggests inferring the potential for cognitive-like processing based on the pattern of information flow through the system, its computational architecture.
By focusing on how cognition emerges from the organizing principles of neural systems, this framework situates HBOs within an evolutionary and computational context. The kind of computational architecture acquired by an organoid informs the kind of cognitive capacities that could theoretically be supported and empirically investigated. This approach requires a deeper engagement with the system's dynamics, ensuring that governance is based on functional evidence rather than intuitive but misleading structural analogous.
The need for rigorous ethical governance underscores the final lesson learned from the homunculus history. The bioethical scope must be broadened to contemplate not only the means by which scientific knowledge is produced, but also the moral implications of what kinds of knowledge and capabilities should be sought and disseminated.
Disseminated. Yeah. The comprehensive history of the homunculus reveals a profound epistemological continuity in the human quest for anthropogenesis. The journey spanning from mystical theology to molecular engineering. The deep origin of the homunculus lies in the spiritual ambition to achieve perfection and divine knowledge through artifice. The purpose of the homunculi evolved from soteriological. Soteriology is the study of salvation, and prognostic goals in the 16th century to purely mechanistic explanations of sexual generation in the 17th century.
The primary lesson learned from attempting the historical experiments was twofold. First, the alchemical quest exposed the ambition of chemistry to redefine the boundaries of creation. Second, and more importantly, the scientific attempt exposed the fatal flaw of recursive reasoning in defining complex systems, thereby generating the homunculus argument, a permanent, powerful tool that defends modern cognitive science and philosophy of mind against foundational circularity.
In recent times, the creation of high complex human-like biological systems is no longer myth, but reality, manifesting as synthetic biology and organoid intelligence. These modern parallels focus on utilitarian outcomes, such as accelerating drug development and advancing personalized medicine. However, the success of the modern neo-homunculus immediately compels humanity to confront the precise nature of agency and consciousness. The greatest intellectual challenge today is ensuring that the frameworks used to govern these systems, such as the architectural approach, apply the rigor learned from the homunculus argument, demanding functional proof over structural resemblance before conferring moral status. Thus, the history of the homunculus is ultimately the history of establishing epistemological boundaries in the persistent pursuit of commanding the processes of generation. Fascinating, huh?
Not the first part. Not our first attempts.
Not the first attempts of the homunculus.
Ghost Celsius was on some.
Ghost Celsius.
Paracelsus.
Paracelsus. Like paranormal.
Yeah.
He was off the wall, man. I don't even know what dude was thinking.
He had a few too many Celsiuses.
I think he did. There was something was in the water, and he was drinking it hardcore.
Someone spiked his Celsius.
He was messy, but have we figured it out? I don't know if we figured it out yet.
Kind of.
So you could be of the generation in the future that you could grab some stem cells. Maybe me too. Grab some stem cells. You need a new kidney. All right, no big deal. Give some of your blood, some of your stem cells. We'll go grow a new kidney for you. We'll just go harvest it quick.
I mean, people have already started 3D printing a bunch of stuff.
Organs. Yeah. The whole homunculus thing is really, really out there to me. But we did it.
Yes, we did.
Question brought.
Question answered.